G'day everyone. Hope everyone enjoyed last night's game. Just wanted to jump on here and talk about that one a little bit. It was a bit of an interesting game. Obviously, the Broncos blew them out early. That was a crazy start. Ben Hunt and Reynolds looked good, and Haas a monster as always. I just had Haas last night, obviously, and Jacob Preston. He was on 23 at halftime, managed a 54, which is pretty good. Obviously, got that 8-point try. Should have got a tackle break with that as well. He got given one, but they took it off for some reason. Never got that back in updates, but they'll take a 54. Just wanted to talk about how everyone went last night. Payne Haas, monster score, 96. The bloke just doesn't get negatives. Like, look at that. No missed tackles, no penalties conceded, nothing. Like, he just keeps on trucking on. Played 65 minutes, which is good. He went off at the 33-minute mark, I think. I thought he'd get less minutes with the blowout, but as soon as the Bulldogs scored that early try in the second half, they wanted him straight back on for the rest of the game. So I didn't captain him, thinking in the wet weather that he probably pack the offloads away like he did last time, but 5 offloads, no negatives. It's a monster score. Just blessed to have him, I think. Reynolds looked awesome. Obviously, he picked up that try off the back of Haas. 85 was crusher, but he did pick up a shoulder injury with that try, and didn't look like it affected him too much afterwards. Played the rest of the game, but came off with 5 minutes to go. I think we got it open here. This one, yeah. There's not much at the moment. We'll have to wait for an update there. Not too many people have them anyway, but I think NRL Physio was saying he's looking at 1 to 3 weeks away, which could open up some possibilities elsewhere. Ben Hunt, potentially a decent one to pick up soon. We'll talk about him a bit later, but yeah, not too many have Reynolds. Obviously, with that injury history, we'll take a look here. He's a good one to have. He's priced at 48, I think. Yeah, priced at 48. He's going to make a bit of coin. He had a high break even. I know a lot of people picked him up after that 85 last time, and he's done it 85 again. So he might have some interest, but yeah, I think he'll miss next week. And he's notorious for averaging 50. I think he averaged 50, only 46 last year, but I think it was a bit better without injuries. Yeah, 50, 53. So he'll probably be priced at 51, 52 after this week. He might have a bit of interest, but yeah, just that injury history. Missed 9 weeks, 10 weeks. Yeah, there's just so many each year. I think it's a bit of a risky one. He's not going to be in the top 5 halves at the end of the year, so I can see there will be interest in him. But yeah, we'll see. Wait and see with that injury. How long he's out for as well. I won't be looking into him too much. Xavier Willison's a bit of an interesting one though. Picked up a 59, obviously with a try again. He scored one last week as well. The base isn't amazing, but he did play 80 minutes, and I think. Yeah, Jack Kaseski's out till around 14, 16, so it looks like that spot's his. He got that 80-minute roll over Pierre Cora last night, so he is a bit of an interesting one. I think there will be a little bit of interest. He doesn't have much history in the second row. Obviously, he played the last 2 weeks. Last week, 37 in base in 62 minutes, which was pretty decent. The tackle count was down yesterday, obviously, after that first half. Broncos had about 70% of the ball almost, which is crazy, especially after the Doggies have been so good the last couple of weeks. But last year, he only played 40 minutes on the edge. I can't recall that game. I don't know if he actually spent it on the edge, because obviously 32 tackles in 40 minutes is incredible, but I would fathom a guess he spent most of the time in the middle there. He'll be priced at maybe, what did he get last night? 59. So he will be priced at about a 37, 38. If he is going to keep that 80-minute roll, he might have a bit of interest, but it's a bit of a risky one. He's got that dual position. I'll be looking into him a little bit. We'll see what that break-even is next week, but he's definitely one to watch. I think that ownership will boost up a little bit next week. We'll probably see him on the Who's Hot list, but yeah, definitely one to watch. 80-minute roll looks good there. Paddy Carrigan, not too much to talk about. Just the usual knock for him. Jake Preston was good as always. 23 at the half, picked up a 54 with that 8-point try, so 46 otherwise. But yeah, he's just been super consistent this year. That's last year's stats, sorry. Yeah, averaging 58. He averaged 58 last year. Price at 57. You can grab him if you want, if you don't already have him. That ownership's so low. I can't believe it. It's probably the best edge in the game at the moment, especially with Fifi out for the next couple of weeks, even though his name this week off the bench. I'm not sure if he'll actually turn up. Obviously, a lot of people were trying to grab him last week, but back on the bench now. That ownership is super low. He will make a tiny bit of money with that break-even, so probably priced at about 58, which is what he averages for the season. He's an origin threat. I don't know if he'll make the team, probably 50-50 at this stage. Obviously, he's got those great buys. I'm just playing 12, 15 and 18, so if he does miss out on origin, awesome. But you can probably wait and see with that price point. He's not too much value, but yeah, he's definitely one you want end of the year. Kickout, yeah, not much there. Selwyn Cobbo, very interesting one. He played a game at fullback again with Walsh out, and he'll have that spot for a while now. It's just not much history there. Like 15 fullback, 58's awesome last year. 11 tackle breaks. He got through a lot of work last night. Obviously, he picked up that try assist. He took over the goal kicking with Adam Reynolds' shoulder. So if he can keep that, I'm surprised Staggs didn't kick him. But I think Cobbo had taken one or two before, so it was a bit interesting. But if he's going to pick that up with Reynolds out for the next couple of weeks, maybe a little bit interesting. I'll probably priced it about. Oh no, he had a 50 break even, so yeah, probably priced around 32 still. So definitely one to watch. I think he'll have a bit of interest too. We see he has the buy in 12 and 15, but he'll be playing Origin ananyway, almost certainly. So that's the only risk. If he wasn't playing Origin and had better buys, I think a lot more will be grabbing him next week. But I think he's a good high risk. He'll probably average close to 45, 50 in that fullback role, but just with Origin and buys, he's probably in a void as well. Certainly an interesting one though, but I'd be leaning more towards Willison or maybe even Hunt, which we'll talk about soon. Maxi King, obviously a lot of people picked him up after that big knock last week. Was it last week? Yeah, 86 last week, back to 42 this week. The base stats were there, 39 tackles, 95 metres. But yeah, he just didn't do too much apart from that. Yeah, a bit disappointing if people did pick him up. Still only 2% owned. He's priced way too high at the moment. He'll still make money off that 33 break even. Averaged 49 last year. But interestingly, there were 3 suspensions off the back of last night. So we have Burden, Tupanua, and Curran all suspended. Burden's only a week or so. But Curran and Tupanua, I think they're missing 3 to 4 matches each. So there's not many players that will come off the bench. I think Fafita is probably next in line. So yeah, I think Maxi King might play 80 minutes or so. No, 80 minutes, not 80 minutes. Probably play 60 minutes or so, which will be interesting. But yeah, he's just priced too high at the moment. We'll probably have 57 minutes. He scored 54 points last year, and this year 59 or 60 in 55 minutes. So if he does play 60, he's an interesting one. But yeah, he's a nice little pod, but priced too high at the moment. It'll be priced at 55 next week, so probably no point picking him up yet. Who's next? Billy Walters, 39. 56 minutes was interesting, but he just keeps scoring. And that's the only reason his scores are being inflated at the moment. I've just filtered this to over 40 minutes just so you can see his price at 24, which is a really nice price point. But yeah, without those tries, he's looking at 20 and 31, and that's assuming he didn't get anything else. He obviously got a line break, tackle breaks. He averaged 33 last year in 55 minutes, which is probably where he'll see. So he's got a decent, close to 10 points of value this if you did pick him up. But it's just an awkward one. Hooker's in a tough position, so that's the only reason I'd be bringing him in. But yeah, he's a straight avoid for me. Who knows what's going to happen with Pakesy coming back, but if the Broncos keep winning, he's probably got that spot on lock. Yeah, Ben Hunt's the next interesting one. Only got 34. He looked really good there, but if Adam Reynolds does miss out, if it is close to that 3-week mark, there is some merit in Hunty. Obviously, that 51 break even, he only scored 34 last night, so he's probably going to be priced around 31, 32 next week. Who knows what that break even is going to be? He's been tragic this year in terms of fantasy scores. He's looked decent in real life. Obviously, I think he looked great last night. Obviously, got that turnover on big kicker, I think it was. Awesome tackle. Can't remember who it was, but yeah. But yeah, he's just so much appeal. He averaged 51 last year, but that was obviously with 500 kick meters, and they're well down with Adam Reynolds this year. He's only got 100 this year, so that's what, 40. It's about 14 points of value right there. So he'd already be back up to 45. So he definitely has some appeal, but you'd want to see Reynolds out for a little bit longer if you were going to consider doing that. And Reynolds won't play Origin. He's got the 12 and 15 buy, so he's one to, if you need points the next couple of weeks, you can probably look to pick him up. But yeah, I think it's a risky one unless Reynolds is confirmed to be out long term. If Reynolds is out for 5+ weeks, I think I'm going to be grabbing Hunty next week. But yeah, if not, I think it's probably an avoid as well. He'll be super potty though. I don't think he'll be on anyone's radar. Jacob Carraz, what did he get last night? A 36. I did talk about probably leaving him this week just with that origin risk. I'd said probably pick him up once it's confirmed he's not in the team. Wait and see with Lomax's history. I was a bit concerned with the offloads. I didn't think he'd rack up 5 and 4 again, but yeah, he pulled out 4. I think he had 0 at halftime. He was on a score of like 5 fantasy points, so it was looking a bit tragic. But yeah, got that offload to help Preston's try. He assisted that one there, which helped his score. And then he had 3 offloads coming out of his own line, which is in the wet weather. That's a really good sign for owners. So if you picked him up this week, a 36 isn't too bad. But yeah, he looks like he's feeling that Greg Marzu role where just offloading off his own line if they're not making too many meters. So yeah, I think he'll be great. A 36 in wet weather when your team get pumped, nothing wrong with that. Obviously a bit disappointing if you picked him up this week, but yeah, I think he'll be great moving forward. But I'd be waiting and seeing for if he gets that origin spot, and if not, yeah, he's definitely one to grab. Centre winger, fullback, dual, and yeah, great buys. So yeah, I'd be looking in round 12. He's probably where you'd pick him up. Stephen Crichton's an interesting one. Obviously, he kept the goal kicking with Burden back the last couple of weeks, which is great. Burden's out again. He's probably not on anyone's radar. He is highly owned, but I'd say a lot of that is casual players. He obviously averaged 32 last year, 32 this year, but the year before he averaged 43 with the goal kicking. Well, not much goal kicking, actually. He only got 1 point from goal kicking. Obviously, that was with the Panthers, so a bit more of an attacking side, but the Bulldogs look better this year. I don't know if he gets back to 40. His base stats are down. His tackle breaks aren't there. Offloads are still decent. Yeah, I think he should start to move into that 40 point range. There's no data to suggest that this year. But obviously, if he's picked up a few more tries, he's only scored 1 this year. He's scored every 2 games the year before and every 0.7 a game with the Panthers, but you'd expect that to be a bit lower. Yeah, 11% owned, not in the top 100, only 1.1% in the top 1,000, even less than that in the top 5,000. So I think you could be a decent pod. Obviously got those great buys again, like Perez, but he will play Origin, which is unfortunate. So that kind of negates the buys. So if he wasn't playing Origin, I'd probably look to consider him as a bit of a pod. But yeah, with Origin, there's no reason to pick him up. But I think his score should start to shoot up for those 11% owned. That's it for me. It should be a good Anzac Day today. We've got Roosters, Dragons, then Warriors, Knights. Hopefully Marzu plays well. I know a few would have picked up Sharp this week, so hopefully he does well for those owners. But yeah, it should be a cracking game of footy. All right, see you guys.